I mean, you mentioned CrossFit.
Yeah. Sipping my coffee as I hope that question. Most research supplement to this date.
Before we start off, PC, are you a PC, PS5, Xbox? My guy. Leon.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this. You're the first guest.
Yeah, I'm honored, man.
On the Coffee Pump podcast. But now, hopefully this will be a tradition before we start.
Yeah.
Because coffee is in the name. Fahad, your choice of coffee.
Oh, yeah. Black coffee, no sugar, man.
Yeah, there we go.
Standard.
Standard. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, man.
Leon, so how have you been?
Easy.
Man.
Yeah, I'm used to being on that side. I'm used to be the guy sort of interviewing. Yeah. So this is good.
It's different, right? I mean, even if it's a new venture for us. Yeah. I think it's something we wanted to try for a very long time.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to start.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then it keeps the motion going and going. And as you're aware with the YouTube channel and stuff we're doing, it's a bit hard putting ourselves out there. But now we've started, and hopefully the momentum is going up, yeah?
Yeah, it's good. I guess with putting yourself out there, it's one of those, once you've done it, then you have to follow through.
Yeah,
so if you've already showed guys, this is what I want to achieve, then now there's no turning back.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's good.
For guys that don't know about you, Leon,
why
don't you give me a brief snippet as to who you are?
So, professionally, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
You can say personal coach, online coach, because now there's two platforms. So we do both in-person coaching and online coaching, corrective exercise specialist, and a nutritionist. So that's what I studied first in uni before getting into the fitness. So into the fitness world anyway. So
so you studied it in university?
Yes.
And what was the course?
I did nutrition and health in KU, Kenyan University.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then after that, worked in the hospital a bit. Didn't like it. Too depressing.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot because, public hospitals, you see a lot, but it was good. And then I've always been into sports, grew up in a sporting family, so I went more the fitness and sport nutrition way.
So when you were working at the hospital, so what sector, what department were you in?
So before you can graduate, you have to do, it's called like a practicum. So you work in every department in the hospital, providing nutrition help, nutrition advice, and so pediatrics, oncology, maternity, and all that. So it's just like for work experience, and so
interesting.
It's good and bad because once you get a patient, get attached, and you never know what might happen.
I know it's tough. I do have cousins who work in the medical field, and it's a calling, man. It's not for everyone,
Yeah, it is. Yeah. After that, I was like, you know what? Respect to anyone who works in the medical field.
Hats off to them. Yeah. And so the fitness element, when it comes to that, so do you recall when was the first time you actually lifted a weight? Because looking at you, bro, you're one hench guy. And Instagram doesn't do justice, and this has taken years to build. So what was the early days like for you?
So starting off, I used to play football. And what got me into the gym is, at the time, I wanted to be like Ronaldinho, or I wanted big legs. I was good, I was skillful, but I wanted the physique.
Yeah.
So I got, I think, maybe 15, 16.
Okay.
And then I started doing legs and trying to get strong because I wanted to be one of the bigger guys in the field.
Yeah.
And I remember my first leg day because I was in pain for days.
The DOMS, right?
I was in pain for days. But instead of it pushing me away, I was hooked. I wanted to get bigger, I wanted to get stronger, and
And so that's when you started seeing yourself, all right, if I'm going to do a career.
No.
That
never thought
never
of it. I just wanted to get hench, and then at the time you're young, so you've been told, you've seen movies, and girls like biceps. Sports guys are big, so I was like, do some curls for the girls, and
because normally when guys get as big as you, it's one girl that probably broke their heart.
No, mine had nothing to do with heartbreak.
It was Ronaldinho, right?
Luckily, it was Ronaldinho, and I'm sure you remember Seedorf, Roberto Carlos.
Yeah.
Those were the guys. So I was like, oh man, those legs. Yeah, at the time,
quite massive.
Yeah, and my dad played football, so he played for Kenya. So yeah, there was that sort of history pushing me towards that way. So I've been training all my life
and
in some form.
Were you in Nairobi? Or
Okay. Nairobi.
So Bontao.
Yeah, and then somewhere in the 90s, I can't remember. But my dad played football in Oman, like semi-pro. So we were there for maybe 2.5 years.
Wow.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so you're a family of sportsmen, basically. You've got that genetic
Everyone's like into sports and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so I think the first time I heard of you, I saw you on an Instagram post sometime in 2016, 2017.
Oh, nice.
And I judged you too quick. I'll be honest, bro. I judged you too quick. I was like, what does this guy know about if it fits your macros?
Oh, yeah.
And so at the time, then I started following you closely.
Yeah.
Then it came to a point where Fahad, my brother, who was very good friends with you, said that if you're looking with help if it fits your macros, you need to follow Lee. I'm like, wait, is this Lee from Revamp on Instagram? That same guy? And sort of I went through all your Instagram pictures. Not that I was stalking, bro.
Yeah.
I was, how do
it's
I say?
like a CV.
Yeah, how do I say? Yeah, exactly. I was doing my due diligence.
Yeah.
And it came to a point where I was like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. And the competitions you've done.
It takes time.
In fact, how many bodybuilding competitions have you done?
1 here, 2 outside, so 3. Because did 1 in the UK, which was an amateur Olympia, and then I did an annual classic in SA, and a Musclemania here in Nairobi. Yeah.
And so what's the mindset you get into when you go into a competition cut like that? Because I don't think not a lot of people realize how much you're sacrificing in terms of food, in terms of sleep. So what goes through your mind? What makes you want to compete in the first place?
To be honest, I've always liked being different.
Yeah.
And bodybuilding was that. It's different. Not everyone can do it. And then not everyone can do it at a competitive level.
Yes.
So at first, I hated it. Like, I used to watch bodybuilding competitions, but I didn't understand, like, why would I go on stage to be judged by, So a good friend of mine, he's also a very good PT, did it. And then he's like, man, you should do it. You do well, you have the physique, whatever. Just try it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Might as well. Won't hurt. So I started the first competition here in Kenya. That was like my testing ground. And I was like, you know what? Let me try it.
And which year was this?
Wow. I don't know, 2013, 2015.
Okay,
maybe.
back
I'm not
then.
Sure,
back then.
Way back, yeah.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. Like, surprisingly, I enjoyed it. I more than I thought I would.
Okay.
And then after that, I was like, yeah, why should I limit myself to Kenya?
Kenya, right.
I want to win an international one. And
Okay.
I started saving up because it's not cheap anyway. So
it isn't.
Yeah, I was like, part of my goals, I just picked 2 competitions and I said, in my lifetime, I have to do this 2. I don't care if I win, whatever. And
you got it.
Yeah, and I did them earlier than I expected. So I was like, after that, I'm like, any other competition now is extra, but it was also more for the networking and just
that's true.
People in the industry, seeing how it's done out there because their age is ahead. And fitness is big. It's considered preventive care. Here it's still, like just
I was going to ask
guy
you
who
that.
goes to the gym.
Yeah.
It's grown, but there's still that, like PTs and coaches, and it's like, why do I need a coach? I can just do it myself. I just remove carbs and lift heavy stuff.
That
sounds simple, but
most of the gym trainers,
and when you see coaches, like a lot of the coaches I wanted to be like, at that time it's like you're seeing, okay, he's buying a house, he's driving a nice car, and you're like, this thing has money, but why, like here, why isn't it so?
Yeah.
Me doing the competition was also like just getting 2 birds with 1 stone.
It's also like road game. I think it proves to the fact that you can get to that level.
Oh yeah, big time.
Maybe a question on that. Yeah. Did you use someone when you were getting to competition levels in terms of a coach or a guru that you were everything was on your own?
All me. And then competition 2, just me and my wife now. She was a girlfriend at the time.
Claire, right?
Yeah, Claire. So it's crazy because she used to help me cook my meals. She'd eat the same bland foods with me, and she never complained. And I was like, if she's not competing,
a supportive partner.
So it helps to have, but it was all me, coach myself. At the time, I didn't want a coach when I started because I wanted to experience and learn through using myself as a guinea pig, if you can say that.
I hear. Yeah. And so was it flexible dieting your approach at that time?
Or
was it the brew?
I went strict, man. I just went.
So you weren't
rice and chicken and broccoli, rice and then maybe steak, and then I'd track my macros, yes, but when I did competitions, it was at the time learning. You're scared of even having like a refeed day because your mind plays tricks on you, and you're like, this refeed day, I'll gain back fat. I'll be taken back a week prepping for competition and such. So when I've always prepped, I've always been super strict on myself.
And so do you give yourself like a 8, 16, 12 week? What are you doing in terms of your timeline?
With my preps, I never did less than 16 weeks, but all of them I did. That one I did in Kenya because it was one of those like my friend trying to convince me.
Right.
So I think I did 8 weeks, then stopped. Then I did, it was a struggle and I wasn't in that mindset, but the other two, I 20 weeks straight. Like
20 weeks.
Week prep.
Hey, that's a long time. So
you're
targeting like a pound a week, and then
I was just trying to get as lean as possible.
In terms of your calories, how low would you say you got? Like, do you remember
1,100 calories?
1,100 calories.
I have them on my phone somewhere.
Fucking hell!
I've documented everything.
I think are we allowed to swear? Vish, are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
I know, yeah. No, I've. Yeah. It's weird. I have all my notebooks ever since I started training and documenting my training till today.
1,100 calories.
Got to 1,100.
So what's that? That's mostly protein. Your carbs must have been
just fish and spinach.
And so it
protein, I guess, and maybe a bit of potatoes.
Were you miserable at that time? Or like maybe you see yourself.
It's because it's with a purpose.
Yeah.
You're not, you're like, okay, this sucks, but man, I'm going to look good on stage.
I guess,
It's just not sustainable.
That's
why like competition is competition. A lot of people who do things to get lean try to do it like competitors, which you don't need to. Right. They're doing it for that purpose, which is competing. So you'll be miserable. It's misery.
So let me follow up to that. In this day and age, with social media, guys are posting. Everyone is shredded 24/7. Is that true? Is that possible? And the level of leanness, naturally,
I guess it depends also which line of work you're in. I guess if you're a high activity person, it could be genetic, because there's also that part. There's people who are just like, even here, we've seen guys who work in construction sites here.
Yeah.
They're just like lean and shredded, and they like you're up
because
and about.
Activity levels are quite high.
But realistically, for most people, you'd have to be. It's not sustainable like that. Yeah, naturally it wouldn't be very sustainable unless you're in a very high active job. If you train, so you can add training. So obviously you're putting on muscle. You're in a high active job and you're eating well.
Yeah,
and you're just genetically built like that.
Okay,
I'd say then it's easy because you're not having to think about it.
But hard work is a common denominator. Whether you're on gear, whether you're doing it naturally, you still have to put in the work, right? It's not like you just plug in a needle and overnight you're there.
And even say the pro athletes who are not pro bodybuilders or powerlifters or whatever, who are not natural, it's still hard work, man. It's still, and it's for a purpose, and they have their health checks. They do what needs to be done because it's work for them.
Correct.
That's their job. So it just depends on why you're doing it. Are you going enhanced to go to the beach, which I think is silly.
It's silly.
Yeah. And I guess if you're over 35, maybe testosterone starts dipping at 30.
Right.
So
TRT,
that's
right?
fine. Yeah. But if you're 20, 25, whatever, under 30.
Man, it's scary.
And then you're going to the beach. It's like, dude.
I'm seeing 16, 17-year-olds, guys who are jacked.
It's become a problem.
There's no way in hell that they've done that naturally, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, to that, are there side effects with these kind of things? I'm assuming there are.
Yeah. There's use and abuse will have its side effects. And
yeah.
I guess if you're even sports people abuse a bit because it's sports, man. You're being paid a lot of money, but the good side of that is you have your doctor who checks and makes sure, you're pushing it safely and stuff like that. So it just depends on your why. If you're doing it to impress a girl at the beach, man, it's not worth the risk. Like risk reward.
Hello.
It's like risk reward. Like I like to tell people, do your own risk and reward sort of graph and see is it worth it. But then again, you're an adult, so if you want to do it, it's like do it. Just know what you're doing.
So I guess as you grow older in your 30s and 40s, then your testosterone naturally starts to dip.
Oh yeah.
So in that particular case, I do understand people may want to do testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah, but you need blood work.
Right. You have to be careful with that. Right?
Yeah, because it's the only way you can find out, how are my testosterone levels. And it starts way before that. Your mood, how you feel, things like that, and then you can check and be like, okay, maybe. And safely work with your doctor or someone who understands and just all these things.
Don't do it on your own.
Yeah, it's science. It's here to help us, but you don't need to abuse unless... Yeah, you don't need to abuse any of these things.
Agreed.
Yeah. And even before we get to that, it's like people skip good nutrition, which we call the basics, the foundation. You don't eat well, your activity is low, you're not training hard, and then you think, because I guess everyone knows Chris Bumstead, so I'll use him as an example. I saw Chris Bumstead, and you're like, he's been training maybe since he was 12, and he has help, and it's his job and things, but Mr. Social media, so you see that and think, I can just skip all these things, and so
and we're all unique individuals. So what necessarily you do
genetics
will not work for me, or sort of. I mean, there is a basis.
There's a basis,
yeah. But from there, then you sort of have to fine tune it.
Yeah.
Maybe before we segue into that.
Yeah.
Are you? I just want to go back to bodybuilding shows. Do you think you're going to compete ever again?
It's interesting because there are days I'm like, it'd be nice to see how I look on stage now. Because even I had a coach 2 years ago, and it's like, you could.
You still got it.
Yeah, you should try it.
Like, I'm not sure the viewers can tell, but this motherfucker is jacked.
No, he's lying.
Like, seriously, bro. It's not just a shirt.
Yeah. But it's because even coach was like, because I got the coach thinking I was going to get on stage, but it's the time, when the pandemic and everything, and all focus shifted to the business. So building the business,
that's Revamp, right?
Yeah, Revamp Fitness. Okay. Making sure the clients we had in-house, can continue training in some way. And at that point is when now the competition just went down on the list of priorities.
Okay.
But yeah, I would like to compete even when I'm like, if I live long, 50, 60 milestones of my life, I'd like to.
How old are you right now, if you don't mind? 35?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, young guy.
35
man.
going 29.
Agreed.
Never aging.
So I guess, how did COVID force you guys to go online? Or were you always an online business before?
We had wanted to do it. And then COVID came and it was like, you have to do it.
You have to do it, yeah.
And in a way, for us, it worked out because it's something we'd wanted to do.
Right.
So when it came, it was like, you know what? This is it. Let's go in. It's like, why not?
Any regrets now?
No, it's amazing.
Online, right? That's where the world is heading.
It's the best because we decide the ceiling of, amount of clients we want, if that ever happens. And then you can reach more people.
Correct.
That's even because with face-to-face, you have your certain hours of daylight.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, so many people. So we'd have to, some clients would come and we'd just be like, nah, can't take you on. So
when it comes to the demographic, would you say, how would you split your business from international customers to Kenyan-based customers? The reason I'm asking this is because online coaching it's still a very foreign concept here.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah?
It is. It's still very.
Not many people are aware that you can do online coaching.
Yeah,
Someone such as yourself. So would you split that? Are most of your customers international?
It's interesting because even the international ones are Kenyans. So it's amazing. Well, most of the international ones, we get a lot of Kenyan because they get excited like, whoa, you know, Kenyan coaches doing this, and you know, gosh, your setup is amazing, and it's like even what our coach would be like, man, if you guys were, because we had a mentor in the UK, and like if you guys were here, because of your credentials and what guys charge there,
you'd make bank.
Their value, yeah, they're like, yeah, you guys, but we've always been about sort of pioneering stuff here and just changing and making the industry better here. So
firsthand, I can attest to that. I was genuinely surprised in your approach to how you take on clients and work them.
It's amazing.
We'll talk about that. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, a lot of the gyms in Kenya, and these days they're starting to pop up. You know, really good quality gyms.
Which is a good sign.
Very good sign. Everyone's taking their health quite seriously.
Yep.
But it seems the notion of coaching and the educational facets are still behind.
Yeah.
So what would you say to, let's say, a coach who sees what you're doing, wants to get into fitness, wants to sort of approach it from your educational perspective? What should they do? And maybe they don't have an opportunity to have an educational background in that, in the sense they go to university for it. What should they do differently?
Okay. First, easy ways to go about it, like in any business, you can get a mentor to start. So maybe you don't have money, but you can go under someone's wing and go to the gym, maybe identify, you don't even need to go to the gym today, just go on Instagram, identify a coach you like. Yeah. And if they work on a gym floor, wherever they have a studio or something, you know, just approach and be like, yo, can I learn from you or ask you questions? Because I enjoy when people do that. Like, you know, come ask. I like to be challenged. If I don't know, but I'll find out. And it's the same. Just look for someone. And even if you're not being paid, because you don't have the credentials or whatever, so you can go under someone's wing first. Yeah. And then there's a lot of online courses. You can start with just basic, even free ones or...
Right. There's a lot of information out there.
YouTube. Because gym here is because like you find in most countries, even abroad, you're not allowed to train or work on the gym floor with, let's say, human beings or human bodies without a certificate, your first basic certification. Yeah. Because of insurance, in case something happens. That's the first thing. So if you can't get a mentorship or be under someone's wing as you somehow save or, you know, and do just a basic certification to get you started. And also that shows your clients, like, you know, you're trying to get the knowledge to make them better. Yeah. Is that you're not just, you know, the guy who has abs and someone told you, you know, you should work in a gym. And like what you do works for you, but might not work for everyone because you probably don't even know what you're truly doing to get there. So,
but I think you're also doing something very positive, which I noticed, is you're giving out free information.
Oh yeah, man.
Which I really appreciated, like through your podcast that you do with Revamp.
Yeah.
So a lot of coaches can, in fact, we'll link them in the description.
Yeah.
I think you're sort of the guru leading the way forward in terms of giving that information, which normally people would charge for. So I commend you on that.
Yeah, because the Bodcast, when we started, that was the whole point, just to give people like a library, somewhere they can go and be like, okay, I want to learn about protein, because we have episodes from like our first season, starting from basic, where we just talk about protein. What is protein?
Seasons? How many episodes have you done?
I don't know if I'm right, but we have 104.
Wow.
I'll check, but...
Yeah, so you've been at this quite long.
Yeah, we've been doing it for long, and it's like it's the same thing we were just talking about earlier. It's like you just start, and we were like, if we get one listener or 10, that's 10 more than we had. 10 people you've benefited, so it doesn't matter. 100, it'll grow eventually. But for us, it's more just having the information out there.
Correct.
And then we'd also interview like top coaches, top bodybuilders from Kenya and abroad, just so people can get the knowledge and see, these people exist, and I can go to this page and learn about how to optimize my sleep, how to do this, and also just by being the voice of knowledge or education, we're able to, I guess, impact other coaches to do the same and elevate the profession in Kenya, if you can say so. Yeah,
which is good. And that sort of was my hesitance, if you can call it that, when trying to find a coach locally. And what ended up happening was I went international, try and find people that could possibly coach me in a certain way. But I realized is you're very hands-on. The fact that you're in Kenya and the way we communicate, I really applaud you for that with what you're doing with the Revamp.
Yeah.
I guess another question I had, this is now more so, I get a lot of questions and people ask me, okay, if I'm a skinny guy, how do I put on muscle? What are the right steps to take? And also the second question would be, if I'm a chubby guy, what are the right steps to take for me to lose weight? So if we focus on the former, so let's say you're a skinny guy, you've just come to the gym and you want to bulk up. What are the right steps to take? What are the fundamental principles that need to be in place for you to build muscle as a skinny guy?
I should tell you, like, starting the gym, what I was told, it's like, eat a lot and train. That's it.
Kula chakula kijana.
Yeah, it's like eat your 10 eggs. It's like, it's 17 or like, I'm not affording 10 eggs every day. I'll be kicked out of the house.
And it is expensive. It is an expensive venture. So how do you approach someone who wants to get into that?
To be honest, well, because of the coaching, I'll try and make it as basic, because as you've seen, we try individualize everything to everyone.
Correct. So if you keep it very generic.
But keeping it on the basic, it'd be, if you're a skinny guy, okay, maybe genetics or whatever, but I think I was also a smaller guy, so could be an excuse. Could be, maybe you just need to eat more, but I'd say first check your nutrition. Are you eating enough? Are you eating enough protein, carbs? How's your activity levels? Maybe you eat a lot, but you're a skinny guy because you also do a lot more. Your things like just your job, your lifestyle.
So then you need to bump up your nutrition if you're doing a lot more.
Yeah, and then it's like we recently did nutrition on a budget.
Okay.
So you can bulk up on a budget, get your grains in, bulk buy foods if you can. Eggs are a cheap protein. You can get your milk and have a plan with your meals. Okay. And of course, train.
Okay.
Yeah, so just start, and the big thing is consistency. And then, try break it up, because I like to break it up in 8 to 12 weeks and take your weight, see if you're improving. But at the end of the day, it needs to be consistent. Like the food you're eating, it's not 1 week you're eating and then it's like, I'm tired of eating, and then it's like nothing's happening. It's like you've just done it for a week.
Yeah, it takes time.
So thinking you do it for a year first before you start complaining.
Yeah.
So it's what I'd call like mastering the basics.
Yeah.
So your nutrition, your training intensity, your activity levels, and just mindset, just how you speak to yourself.
Correct.
Be nice to yourself and encourage yourself, things like that, because internally and externally, you're one.
Yeah.
There's nothing like you're one. How you speak to yourself will show with your physicality and everything. Right. If you're trying to achieve something, just like in business, if you want some, you'll get at it every day. It's the same.
Okay.
And you can take that mindset into everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting from you is, right, if you want to build muscle and I'm a skinny guy, first thing is you need to get your nutrition in check.
Yeah.
Once your nutrition is checked, that means, and not just eating anything, measuring, managing.
If you can't track, even better.
Perfect.
See what you're having every day. Get your carbs up. You're a smaller guy, so you need those carbs, man. So,
correct.
Yeah.
Then you need to start training. Obviously, you can't get big. You can't get big without tearing a few muscle fibers.
Lift those weights, man. Yeah.
Third, consistency.
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay.
It should even be number one. But you need to be doing something for it to be consistent. But yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So you're consistent. You need your nutrition in check. You need to eat the right foods.
Yeah. You need to be consistent with those for a long time.
Like, and then you're training.
And you'll find out if you enjoy it. Try different things. Because maybe you're a skinny guy, but you like fast-paced stuff.
Correct.
So
when
you go to bodybuilding, we're boring guys. We slow things down. We, get a pump and stuff like it. It's different from like a CrossFit or powerlifting. So don't be afraid to try all of them when you start and see, okay, maybe I was I was calling training boring or hard, but I hadn't found what I actually enjoy. Yeah. Because bodybuilding, it's been there for long, and it's how everyone sort of starts, commercial gym and everything, but you can try and maybe even just like swimming and running.
True.
But you still need to eat to recover, and so it's and then add some body weight training and you'll grow. It doesn't need to be in the gym.
Okay.
And so
I mean, you mentioned CrossFit.
Yeah.
I know we have some CrossFitters sitting behind here.
Sipping my coffee as I hope that question goes.
What's your opinion on CrossFit?
I've done CrossFit before. I try to do stuff before I can judge stuff.
Yeah.
And CrossFit is good, but I think it takes a long time to learn. You have to learn it right for you to do it injury free.
Yes.
Because it's CrossFit took everything from everywhere and put it into one. And then it's very fast paced.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you start, I'd say if you have a good coach, everything has to start with the basics.
Correct.
So if you're going to CrossFit, start with the basics and start with a good coach. Then you will enjoy it. You'll be injury free, and you'll enjoy how you move.
Correct.
And it's because I remember doing CrossFit and I was like, man, I would never do this for long. Then I watched the CrossFit games and the pro athletes, and you're like, holy,
they're like hench,
and they're amazing. And you're like, okay, now I can see the difference between the guy doing CrossFit in the gym.
Yeah, and the guys doing it at a professional level.
Yeah, and that changed my mindset on CrossFit also.
I mean, what I can say from what I notice is like the comparison always is bodybuilders have muscles, CrossFitters use it. And so ultimately because the flexibility.
And then it's very fast paced. They're never big guys. They're never
it's more athletic.
It's very
it's athletic based.
The ladies, though, for some reason, CrossFit works for them, and they get amazing. Muscle and they look somehow when it comes to aesthetics, it works for the women compared to the men. But when you watch like the pros, it's they're.
So I will say, it's segueing into fat loss. If you're actually looking at creating a deficit and burning more calories, CrossFit is a good way to do that, right?
Can be, but only if you enjoy it. You don't need to. You can just start by walking. Fat loss, people like to complicate it, but say you've not even been exercising, just start by walking. If you've been maybe you eat takeout 3 times a week.
Yeah,
just cut 2. Because everyone starts everything very drastic. It's like, I'm going to cut out all the, whatever brand of fast food you buy in my life. I'm going to change and I'm going to cut this out, do this. But it's like, why not start slow and build it up? Like, it took you a long time to get there. And you also want to do it to get healthy and be able to do it for a long time. So it takes time to change your mindset. It takes time to build a new habit. So start by walking 3 times. You don't even need to start by, unless, you've been like, okay, I've been putting out this gym thing and I need to start. But start, go to the gym, walk on a treadmill, maybe do body weight stuff if it's your first time. Because gyms can be intimidating anyway. So, you've been taking takeout 4 times a week, cut 2. Start making food,
So slow progress, right? Don't just change instantly.
Fat loss doesn't mean, cut every carbs out and start running daily.
We see a lot of people doing that, right? It's okay, I need to lose weight. In fact, speaking of which,
I need to lose weight. Tomorrow I'm running a marathon. It's
this is just while we're shooting the podcast. A friend of mine just says, hey, in your video, you said you aren't running and leaving that for quick win. What should I do to get as much weight off my gut before a wedding?
weight.
So he's basically asking, I need to lose in 15 days as much as weight as possible. So
it's crazy. Also,
the quick wins.
Yeah, because guys confuse weight loss and fat loss.
Yeah,
it's
very different.
Weight loss is easy and unsustainable.
Yes.
If you're doing a wedding, just starve yourself. If it's too fit, it's bad advice. No one do this, by the way. But fat loss is long term. Once it's out, you plan to keep it out.
Yeah,
for good. Weight loss is easy. I can probably lose a kilo today. I just go to the sauna.
Yes,
and I'll be
it comes off. Yeah.
just sweat.
Just sweat it out. Yeah.
People forget that too. Like fat loss needs to be sustainable, and you want to be able to do it for a long time.
Yeah.
And weight loss, because you have I guess water weight, you have your fat, and it's like boxers. We've seen boxers like, I can't meet weight. Just go to the sauna, do a jog, come back, it's done. Yeah. So it's also something we try to tell our clients, like, just go sit with yourself and be specific.
Be realistic.
Be realistic with the goal. Do you want to lose fat? Or do you want to lose weight to fit in a dress? So
there's two different...
Like, you want to lose fat, so it means you want to be healthy for as long as you live. Good. You want to lose weight? So let's just cut out carbs, go running, sauna, 2 kilos down, be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you'll have lost, the goal you wanted will.
Yes.
You take it and then gain it back tomorrow, and life goes on. So it depends on what exactly it is you want.
So there's a difference between weight loss and fat loss, and
I
obviously
think that's what people confuse.
Yeah. So let's look at it from a fat loss perspective, all right?
Yeah.
So let's say I'm a new guy at the gym and I'm overweight, and I want to start off and lose weight. So the fundamental principles I need to have in place. What are the basics for fat loss?
Same thing. Your nutrition. You want to be in a deficit, which can be achieved through food. High activity levels, we like to get steps in.
Yes. So before we get to steps, on the nutrition, a lot of people cut out everything completely. Would you recommend that for fat loss?
Just start slowly. You're already in a high calorie place.
Yes.
So if you start taking it down slowly, even mentally, you're in a good place as you take it down slowly.
So as you were saying, if you're having 3 chicken burgers 3 times a week, go to 2 chicken burgers.
And then
if you're having French fries...
Take it out slowly. If you really want to achieve it, you will.
Inch by inch, yeah? Okay. So same fundamental principles for fat loss. One, first of all, just get to the gym. You need to start somewhere.
Start walking.
Start
walking. A lot of
walking.
people go crazy, go to the gym, but start just walking.
Get your NEAT up. Train at the gym. Consistency.
Body weight at home.
Would you say weight training is very important for cutting weight in the long run?
Yeah, because you want to keep it, and muscle, once you build muscle, because muscle will stay for long. Muscle will stay with you.
Correct.
And when you have muscle, you're burning even more energy as you sleep. You can, higher, I guess it's BMR, if I'm correct. But the more muscle you have...
Your metabolic rate, right?
Yeah,
exactly. It goes higher.
The higher your... So you want to build muscle to be able to do this longer.
Yeah, I think there was an expression someone told me is that the human body keeps adapting to whatever stimulus you put on it. So let's say you have a diesel engine right now as a body, which doesn't burn as much fuel. But then you put enough load into it and you sort of do enough exercises that it eventually goes from a diesel to a V6 to a V8. And it adapts. It keeps growing. So every time you put more stimulus, your body changes to adapt. And the that's muscle. The more muscle you build, the bigger your engine is.
You start with your air squats.
Yeah, exactly.
Add weight. And you keep on adding weight and keep on adding weight as you get stronger.
So what I'm getting from you is for both muscle building and fat loss, for beginners, is just start.
Just start with something.
Start with something.
Start with a walk.
Okay.
Easy, Or if you're trying to, like you say, skinny guy trying to build muscle, start with push-ups. See how many times a day, how much time you can give into your push-ups and squats at home.
Yeah.
And then build up.
Yeah.
Get your food in. See, maybe you're in uni.
Yeah.
What can you afford on your budget? Stuff like that. So.
Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day. So start with the basics.
Yeah, and all this costs money. So do a budget too. It's like,
right.
So even if you're in uni, if you're at home, see what can you afford. How can you get in certain meals? What can you buy? Say whether stay alone or stay with people. How can you fit in extra meals?
Yes.
Add your own protein, stuff like that.
I think in Kenya, especially university students where budget is a bit of a restriction,
what
would you recommend to them for protein sources and carb sources? Like protein especially, because protein tends to be a bit eggs.
Well, eggs are more expensive now from when I started.
Bro,
but
I'm telling you, the way things are going, it'll be 100 bob an egg in 5 years.
But it's still cheaper than, I guess, steak. So I'd say milk. I used to do milk and eggs, man. Milk, eggs. I remember starting milk, eggs, beans. Those were my staples. Man.
If you go Isli, you get tuna fish in wholesale, in sunflower oil. And those are cheap. They can give it to you up to 80 bob a can.
No way.
So it depends on where you search. Obviously, if you're shopping in Westlands, on the high-end sides, things are going to be very different. The problem with
tuna is when I'm prepping, or rather when I used to prep for competition, I eat so much tuna. After prep, I do not want to see fish.
Tuna and rice cakes. Man, you and me. When I had my first cut.
Rice cakes and tuna, I'm like, nah.
So we were doing the same gross stuff before.
I was like,
you saw it through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you just it's so bland.
So I guess people have to start with tuna. It is the bodybuilder's entrance into
but you can't.
Nutrition entrance.
Like I know a lot of bodybuilders the pro bodybuilders we've had on our podcast, they started tuna because tuna is cheap abroad. But
it's cheap.
But if you're saying here you can get it for 80,
so you have to look. You have to look where.
But if you can, it's like
I will say
tuna
easily
and eggs.
Yeah, tuna and eggs, right?
If you can stomach fish, why not?
So even supplementations, forget about it right now.
That one's bad. Unless you've sort of done blood work and you know something's missing and you need to supplement, then, or your doctor has told you for whatever reason, then, but just randomly buying supplements will help.
What about...
Sorry.
So no, please.
No, I was going to say unless the three I'd say is maybe, if you have the money, whey protein, I mean...
That's fine.
You get extra protein in, creatine. So, most research supplement to this date. It's amazing for your brain, muscles, whether you're 15, whether you're 90, creatine's amazing. And fish oils.
Fish oils, very important supplementation.
Yeah, those three I'd say if you have money and you're itching to buy supplements, look into those three. Yeah. Anything else is just extra if you want.
Right. What about grains and beans and stuff?
You can get them for cheap. Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
They're a good way to get your carb and protein up also, right? Exactly.
It's incomplete protein, but
Giderian chapos.
I know, man.
That's
like a high carb meal, though.
The reason I'm like this is chapati. Bro, chapos are the reason I'm like this.
Oh, man, chapos and beans.
I would eat chapos every single day if I could, and I couldn't.
You should, maybe when you do a refeed, when you eat the chapos, check your blood sugar.
It will probably spike up to 7 or something.
Eat, do an hour after, check. I've done mine, and I know. I've done.
So,
and I was like, hi, this is... Now imagine if you eat chapos every day and you're sitting, so there's no blood sugar regulation. I was like, okay, this is...
It actually gives you a visual of what you... That's what and we'll get to blood sugar. So when we were in Saints, there was this donut and sausage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my cousin was in Saints. He was calling it a combi or something.
Combi. At that time, there were 15 bob. So there was once, I remember every Friday, the headmaster would announce, I think it was like a student of the week or something. And then you get a gift voucher.
Oh, jeez.
And so he announced my name. I went up on stage, and it was a voucher for 100 bob. So I was like, okay.
So the whole classroom.
15 divided by 100, how many? Not for myself. So I got donut, sausage, I got mandazi, samosa. And I got donut and samosa and mandazi, and just combined everything together.
Yeah. And also that shows you like the thing that's wrong with like schools in a way, because that's carb on carb on high fat on carb. The samosas on just a bit of meat maybe. I don't even know if
shout out to St. Mary's chips. The chips eventually before we left they were like 35 bob, and they used to serve them in this packet, and they were oily and greasy. But they were just, they were so
text my
perfectly
cousin
fried.
after this. He used to talk about those. And I'm like, how do you fit that in your mouth? Like, after that, are you even concentrating in class? You're sleeping.
And the so I think it was Fridays was all those chips and something.
Yeah.
Mondays and Wednesdays was dengu and chapo. But the chapo, it was like a tablecloth, massive thing, and it's the combination, the perfect texture, the taste.
Yeah, but that shows you how high carb of a society we are, which is...
Bro, don't hate on Chapos.
No, I love Chapos.
Yeah.
Actually, Chapos are life. Like,
Chapos are life. Huh?
Like it's...
Vish, do you like Chapos? Fahad?
Everyone here is...
Fahad, do you like Chapos? Yeah, everyone here is for Chapos.
Thinking of it, like...
Who can sponsor us for Chapos?
I know. We should Coffee and Chapo.
Coffee and Chapo podcast,
that'd be perfect.
The Chapo Pump podcast.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Perfect.
But it does show you how, you know...
But would you start off your kids at that very young age to eat well, like... You would, yeah?
Just teaching them. Just
basics.
Those kids, I guess...
You wouldn't buy them like Superman birthday cakes with buttercream.
Definitely.
With Chapos, hot dogs, this and that.
Like kids are kids.
Because some parents take it extreme.
Yeah.
Man. I mean,
but I think it's more the knowing.
Just educational,
yeah.
Right?
Just even like now with adults, it's always awareness and education. It's like, yes, you can have your cake, but you can't have it every day.
Yeah,
you know?
Correct.
It's fine. And then I guess now it's crazy because we've also had a podcast on this, and it's just how to introduce and teach kids.
Yeah.
Because most of us saw it growing up. We didn't have all the fast foods. We didn't have Uber.
It's changing.
We didn't have takeaways like this. Yeah. So it's what you saw at home, and you grew up with. Like everywhere at some point, breakfast was bread, tea.
Correct.
Maybe eggs, and you just knew that is breakfast. Like you don't eat breakfast at night, which is still food.
So speaking on that, one of my colleagues, shout out Fred, if he's watching. He's from Nyandarua, and the first time he ever ate a pizza was when he was 28.
Oh, it's crazy.
And so when people say that I'm fat because of my genetics, it's not your genetics. It's your habitual. It's what your surroundings
it's
are.
Habits,
So us as Desi people, I'm not sure if you've ever eaten Indian food. Indian. Mom is the best cook, but everything is in oil.
Oh, yeah, for me.
Your bread's in oil, your fruits are in oil, and it's just part of that process. And you sort of grow up, and so when we become 30, 40, we're like, oh, we're pre-diabetic, we've got cholesterol, we've got this. And then I'm seeing anher guy from Nakuru side, Nyandarua side, who does not even know what those diseases are.
Sweet potatoes.
We're changing back to it in Nairobi now.
Yeah.
So people that are not Indians, the African culture is also accustomed to fast food now. And you're seeing cholesterol pop up. You're seeing diabetes pop up.
Yeah, I know. So a lot of younger guys.
So it's not genetics. It's what you. I mean, some form maybe.
In some, but mostly it's just it's more environmental.
Best pizza in Nairobi.
I'm trying to think. Best one I've had. Well, apart from my uncle who makes amazing pizzas, like they're
really
amazing.
Good.
I'm trying to think. Pasta is one of the places I had a
I was hoping you'd say Pizza In, those sloppy, dirty pizzas.
I tried Pizza In, but it was...
You know what?
I don't want to say, but it was one of those because I'm always eating home-cooked meal.
Yeah.
So I never eat outside. It's not even just Pizza In. It's like my tummy just goes like, okay.
Bro, that's
you asked for this.
You asked for this. Yeah. Exactly. That one you have to be prepared.
Yeah, so
the after effects are expected.
Like I do crave a Pizza In sometimes, but it's like it's one of those even in the house. I just looked at it's like,
here's what
like there's that look of what happens.
You know what happened,
and I know it's but I'm like I don't care.
I'll tell you this: we'll have to do a Twitch streaming session. We get a large mega pizza, barbecue steak, extra cheese. From Pizza In, but this is obviously after the cut. And we demolish this. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. I would say they're the best pizza, and people hate on me.
No, they're good.
Hate on me with that.
If you're, I guess if you're thinking, there's, I guess, gourmet and, I know it's become like the food podcast, but it's like, but it depends. Yeah? It's like,
we have people, we have haters of it, right? We have people.
Yeah, pizza for me, it depends. If it's high fat, my tummy will. Like they really drown it.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like where I come from, Punjab, like Punjabis, I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah.
They're very much into bodybuilding strength.
Oh yeah, big time.
They eat a lot, my dad's bigger brother, he'd wake up at 4 a.m. He'd eat like chapatis from there. He'd put a lot of butter at 4 a.m. That's in the morning. He'd go to the farm, come back, do the same thing. He'd eat 4 meals a day. But if you see him at this age, he's 70, but he's so strong. So is it a myth that if you eat such food, do you just get fat, or if you eat such food and maybe you do farming or something very active, you even become stronger?
Yeah, because he's just like farming. That's like high energy stuff. So he's probably burning through it like crazy. So it could have effects on your health markers if you're eating a lot of the trans fats. But from what you've said, it's home cooked stuff. So he knows what's in it. It's he's farming. Yeah. So
I'm assuming someone farming, it's physical. I mean,
that's the way farming.
You see, I think the difference is if we eat like that, what are we doing? We're going to sit at the office. We're sitting down the whole day. We're doing 2,000-3,000 steps.
You should be editing or
exactly.
So get home in the evening, you're tired.
I think I want to move to Punjab and work with your uncle. Maybe I'll get shredded.
Yeah. So it's like he's just he needs high carbs. He needs high carbs. He's an active guy, and he's probably done, like you're saying, he's 70. He's done it for years, so his body is just a furnace, and he has a routine. Like you've even said it. Like you even know it, and he knows. Like wake up. If I have this amount meal, I'm able to farm till this time.
Right.
Load up again. Go. It's like here with construction workers.
Yeah.
Most of them just eat, the chapati, beans.
By the way.
Maybe milk.
And they're all shredded.
And you look at them, and it's because after that, they go. You're mixing cement. You're throwing stones, and if you think of it, like I always look at guys who do a lot of manual work and think of it as, that's like a wood chop,
Yeah.
He's throwing the stone, or like throwing stone like he's playing rugby, So if you think about that, and that guy is moving like that for an hour, or farming, it's up, down, for an hour.
Easily doing 30,000 steps a day.
And then you add steps.
And then steps, yeah.
Even with those meals, I doubt with what they're burning, they're even exceeding their, it's a surplus.
Yeah, they're even going, much. Their maintenance must be like 7,000 calories.
Yeah, so the fact he's still lean, it just shows you
how much activity.
He's under his daily, like what would need to gain weight. So, but in case he changed his lifestyle, started sitting down, and kept eating like that, you'd see.
So then the best way to lose weight is to become a farmer and move to Punjab. Yes.
Just become construction or farming.
Yeah.
In fact, don't even change your food. Like,
don't just eat.
But like, if you eat badly, like you can change. But just start doing farming, even if it's 3 times a week, and keep eating the way you're eating, because you've just added energy expenditure.
In fact, on that, when a lot of people say when they were in university they used to be thin, they used to do this. What they don't realize is the amount of activity they did. So when I was in the UK, and I'd gone for my masters, I had to get a job on the side to sustain myself, and I became a cleaner.
Oh, nice.
When I was looking at my averages from 2015 to 2016, minimum I was doing was 15 to 18,000 steps a day.
Just moving,
And so the way my schedule was, I had to go to. So I got a job at the university.
Yeah.
And before the classes start, you have to clean the halls.
Oh, nice.
And the class lectures and the office rooms.
Yeah.
So I got one block.
So you're just moving up
up and down. And so I would start my session at 5 in the morning to clean.
Oh, jeez.
It would be up till 7. And then after that, I would go to the gym for my first cardio session, then to class.
Yeah,
and then basically from class, I would have classes, then I would have theatre in the afternoon, and then go home to sleep and recover for 2-3 hours, go back to the library, then go for my evening session. That's an active lifestyle. But now...
So your NEAT is high.
And that's... If I could replicate that NEAT in my current lifestyle, I'd love that. But it's just a job.
Yeah,
because unless we start introducing treadmills in the office,
You can have, standing treadmills.
Yeah, by the way. I don't think my boss will approve that.
There's even a machine I saw. It's one of, I think it's the mentor, one of our mentors who helped us with our coaching platform. It's a cycling, it's the pedals.
Yeah. And you're sitting on it.
So you can sit and work as you pedal.
Amazing.
And he'd do it because he'd be busy.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get lean for a show. Just sit on it, and that would be his cardio as his sending out meal plans or whatever.
Right.
So you can get that in the office and just sit with it.
I think that's for weight loss. It's just movement. Get it up, move around.
Yeah. In this day and age, it's hard, but it's it's your N.E.A.T, which is your non-exercise activity.
Yeah.
How much you burn when you're doing anything other than exercise.
Yeah.
And that's why when you think it's like people start fat loss or weight loss I'm cutting out everything, I'm going to do this, do that. It's like, just look at, that. What do you do? What would you like? What does your daily life look like first?
Yeah.
Are you sitting a lot? Things like, then start by walking, start things. So
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's where people go to extremes too quick, and you can just start step by step. And then even if you go extremes too quick, cut out everything, you've cut out your favorite food, you're going to be miserable. So you'll not stick to the plan.
Yeah.
But if you start slowly, start seeing changes, then you're like, okay, you know what? I cut out 2 burger days. Maybe I just need 1 a month. And then mindset starts
Building
changing. You start, So
I think just build up on the good principles, try to do more things each week.
And I think training is more mental than anything.
Right.
More, like for most clients, it's just...
Sorry, guys. I think we had a bit of a mix-up, but we're back online. I forget where we were. Do you remember?
No, I was saying how training is more mental than anything.
Right.
Like just mentally getting into that space.
Yeah.
And then I think the physical just follows because...
Right.
I don't know, maybe because physical pushes you to want to do something.
Yeah.
But I think it starts mentally where you're like, okay, I need to change something or I want to do something. And then your physical being will follow after that.
That's true. It's a mental game. So, I mean, whatever you do, I think from what I'm getting for you is obviously consistency.
Yeah.
And you have to build up on that consistency with mental perseverance. So you need to have that.
And enjoy it.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, to segue back to what Vish was asking in terms of his uncle being a farmer.
Yeah.
And eating all sorts of prote, chapos with butter, ghee, but still at 70 being very shredded. I guess it goes to that same concept we were talking about where you have to move around a lot more. So
and it's like his job helps him because he doesn't even need to think about farming.
So let's take a look at Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the most famous footballer on, and he's always shredded. And I'm assuming, in addition to nutrition, it's because he's just how much do they do, right?
Yeah, and then he's different because
he's a beast.
First thing, because I like the fact that he has just rules he lives by. Like he won't, even if it's an event. I think I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true, but after 11 p.m. he's out. Doesn't needs to sleep.
He doesn't drink.
Doesn't drink. That's because alcohol, protein don't go together. And sleep and many other and hormones and alcohol. Yeah, it's because the body treats it as a poison anyway. So But someone like him doesn't drink. He's just in control. He knows, what he wants to achieve, and he sticks to it. So
I saw some pictures of him recently on a boat, I believe. And man had still abs, and I think it's even when he has downtime, I guess he's built up this tolerance where his body is so used to moving out a lot that it's a furnace. And and I guess that's what you need to do if you want to get that level of shredded. It doesn't happen day one. It takes time.
It takes time.
You can't do 1,000 steps today, then 20,000 steps tomorrow.
It's like
it takes years.
It's like the way you say the furnace. You build it up. Start with
diesel
coal or wood. or start with
Probox engine fat loss.
Because you start with one piece of wood, or Jico or whatever.
You keep throwing.
And then you just keep adding.
Okay.
The fire keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. If you can use that analogy. So. And you do it effortlessly. So if it's something you want, you're in control, you have a plan, it becomes, I guess that's what you call a lifestyle because you're not thinking about it. You just know this is sort of when I have my meal, this is what I carry to work in my food bag, this is what I eat dinner with the family, So as much as you're doing all that, you still have time for family, if you have kids, if you have a spouse, girlfriend, whatever. So that's where now the lifestyle comes in. It's not taking away from your life, but enhancing it. So,
Interesting. So, moving on to Revamp Fitness. That's how our relationship started.
Yeah.
So, what I wanted to talk about was, in terms of me personally,
Yeah.
I know I may have shot myself in the foot by saying that I need to lose 20 kilos by the end of the year. But what are we doing differently when it comes to Revamp and me? So how are we approaching my fat loss perspective? Because we've got about 6 months.
Yeah.
I need to lose 20 kilos. I think we're down about 3 kilos already.
Yeah, it's been quick.
It's been quick, and we're adapting. So, I mean, what are the principles you're following with me?
So, as I said, with every client, it's very individualized. So that's why the first thing I did was send you the questionnaire so I can know just a bit about you first.
Which was very good, very comprehensive.
Yeah, even before we had the call. So you can even tell me more. And
I like the part where you asked, has your heart been broken before? And I was like, yes, many times.
It's part of stress. It happens, you know. It happens, and it's emotional stress which affects you, and it can change things in life, you know, and it's well, like some people it happens and you're pushed into the gym, which could be good. Yeah. Some people it happens and you're pushed into maybe alcohol or drugs or whatever. So it's
pizzas.
It's just a way of, you know, assessing your stress levels and stuff. Yeah. And that's why the questionnaire is like that. Just finding how you deal with stress. You know, what your job is like. If you've had any, you've trained before, and family history, and even maybe later you were saying you'd like to do blood work, just see what's happening. Yeah. And that we take that approach so we can individualize your training, your coaching and everything, because we're looking at you as an individual, your questionnaire, your goals, and what you want to achieve. And that's the first step. That's first just looking at you as an individual.
Understanding.
So I can program and make everything to work for you. And that's why even with the foods and, you know, finding out your job, you travel a lot, and we can plan that around that. Not to take away from what you do, but fit it in.
To complement it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, your priority is your job. That's how you're making money.
Yeah.
So how can you fit this new thing into your life that will enhance it even more?
Yes.
So rather than you doing the opposite where it becomes a super priority and then everything else suffers, it's how that can also come and become part of your life. So,
and I appreciate that aspect. It was very comprehensive. You took the time to understand where I'm at mentally, where I'm at physically,
very important,
emotionally. You took all that, and then you sort of customize it to my approach. I know I had injuries, which people usually ignore.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot. In fact, maybe we can speak about the importance of that. I know I have a knee injury and a lower back injury. How important is stretching and prehab work and rehab?
It's just knowing how someone moves. It's easy for, say, a coach, or in this case, me, to program for you your training. Knowing if you've had an injury before, if if something doesn't feel right, or you do a certain movement. And that's why even with, now with the online, we get videos, which also help. It's different in person, but at least the videos.
So the app that you asked me to download has all the illustrations.
Yeah, and then you can send me videos. I can just see how you move, you know, and just that way I'm able to, because there's so many exercises. If you think about it, like if you mention a squat, there's hundreds of variations,
so many variations,
and there's a reason for those variations. It doesn't mean you need to cycle through all exercises throughout your life. You'll get 2 or 3 that you'll keep repeating for a very long time that you'll enjoy, will give you results, and then you can play around with them. But it's the same way now. Once you find out how you move and what works for you, if it's like the injury we need to work on, then I use that information to build a program that works specific for you, and still stick to the goals. Still, making the muscles work, keeping you consistent, and still pushing you towards your goal despite that. So just because you've had an injury or have an injury doesn't mean you can't do stuff. So,
and that's actually one I've learned. So a lot of the fundamentals we share similar notions. We agree on a lot. One thing that was quite surprising to me was the blood insulin facet. And that came as a surprise. Maybe you could just explain why we had to sort of take that approach.
Blood, I think everyone needs to check their blood sugar. It's just an easy way.
Not many people do.
Yeah. And you can't also blame them, because it's just information that's not out there.
Yeah.
But it's just a nice way to see how you deal with carbs, how you deal with stress, how you sleep, because you get blood sugar variations when you're highly stressed, when you don't sleep well, and just, like after, I think we started training, and then it's when you did the check-in, and then I was like, you know what, maybe let's check blood sugar, then we can figure. I don't remember what was in the check-in, but
it was 6 point. It was 6 point something.
Yeah,
I believe.
It's the one that clicked, and I was like, let's. Can you check blood sugar? Let's just see. Because I think it's also because of your job. Your odd hours. So I was like, let's just monitor, see where it's at, and then when you sent the average, we got like the average for a week, and so then we're like, okay, we can do something about it.
So the logic is, the higher your blood sugar levels is, the less sort of sensitive you are to insulin resistance, correct?
Yeah, like it's
which
so
affects fat loss.
Yeah, you have higher sensitivity and lower sensitivity. Yeah, so perfect range is, I guess, between 3.9, I believe, to 5.6. You want it in that range.
Yeah,
and higher or lower, it shows us how you use insulin in the body.
Correct.
How you use carbs, and yours was high, meaning
it was pre-diabetic.
It was in the range. So we want to get it lower than that, and by adding the activities like steps, it just means after meals you're able to use them better and keep them low. Because that's why you prick in the blood, because it's blood sugar.
And we did get to I think we had couple of check-ins go under 5.9.
Yeah, which so shows, maybe sleeping well, moving more, and
I mean, so I will attribute you. There were factors I didn't take into account. How much sleep affects your weigh-ins.
Oh, big time.
So I mean, like 4 to 5 hours was what I was averaging. I've now bumped that up to 8 hours.
And you can see
a big difference in your mental state. So I do applaud you for pointing that out. And it does affect the blood sugar.
And then, when you check your blood sugar, you see, okay, also, even when you're just stressed, just check and see. You when you don't sleep well compared to when you sleep well, you'll see big difference.
Correct.
Yeah. I was just saying, it's an affordable, easy way for everyone.
Correct.
To be able to see, okay, I've been moody, maybe I've not been feeling, but it's just an easy way to see where you're at and see if you're in a healthy place or not, and it's affordable. Anyone can do it. So
in terms of now the way, how am I as a client? Am I like a dick?
You're good, man.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
no, everyone's different. But
please say I'm sorry.
So far, so good. So far, we're
good.
We're moving well. I like when clients ask questions. It's also nice to take charge, but questions are good. It's what I tell clients, ask anything. There's no stupid question. So and the more you tell me, the more I can help you also. So
I appreciate that, because you're very hands-on. You check in. The fact that even sometimes you just, like, if I'm doing my steps, you send me a message, keep it up. So you're very hands-on compared to other coaches.
Yeah, that's what we try to do with Revamp, man.
So, I mean, props to you. I highly recommend you guys check them out.
Yeah.
If you're looking at someone to educate you, if you're looking at someone to just inform you and guide you, because this is fat loss, especially the bigger you get, it takes time, it takes a lot of effort. And so if you have someone you're accountable to, like I am to Leon, I think that just makes a lot of difference. So I appreciate that, brother. You've been really sorting me out. I mean, so December come. Okay, the other question I had for you, just if I wanted to compete in a bodybuilding show right now, how much of a time would we take? And I know it's not going to be happening in 2-3 months. I know it's years.
It takes time.
Give me a number. Let's say 2 years out, 3 years out.
Yeah, I'd give you minimum two
years.
Yeah, I'd say we just get fat down, cut you down, and then build back up, and then now start doing maybe a few bulk sessions, a few cut sessions. Yeah.
But so at 31, you'd say I could still put on quality muscle.
I remember at the show in SA there was a 65-year-old guy.
Jesus Christ.
Bodybuilding is for everyone. So
I think that's a handshake agreement. We're going to be together for 2 years.
Yeah, we'll get you the show, but
we're going to compete. So you've heard it here first.
Just that consistency, and
okay.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
But it's possible.
It's possible. Yeah? I'm taking that to the bank.
Yeah.
2 years when we look back on this episode, and and we see, and that will be now us having another interview post competition.
Yeah, because that also brings another good thing. It's a lot of people start.
Yeah.
And, after a few sessions, a small pump, they feel they can do bodybuilding competitions in
it takes time,
6 months.
Yeah.
And even for me, like I took a long off season before I did the other
How
two
long was
shows.
it?
I think 2 years. I think
2 years
after
of
my
just
first
packing on
show,
mass,
I took a long break and then.
And so you're just on surplus calories.
Yeah, but also before my first show, which I wasn't even as a big guy, I had trained for a couple of years.
And years of training that came into place,
right? It's almost a delusional mindset many people have. It's like, I can see a few abs, a small bicep pop.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, I'm going to compete in, and it takes time. It's a patient person's sport.
Correct.
If you can call it a sport, or I like to call it a discipline, but
yeah,
it teaches you patience. Like now you've just said you're planning for 2 years. It's like who does that? It's like,
I mean, so you've heard it here first, basically. 2025, Leon and I.
Yeah,
we'll go and do a junior show somewhere.
And no, won't be masters yet, but yeah.
Yeah, so we're giving ourselves 2 years.
An amateur show.
An amateur show. So we put it out on the internet.
Yeah.
That's so another thing that surprised me. Like when I look at you, on the surface, I think just gym, this, that.
Yeah, man.
Not interesting. But another area we have quite common is gaming.
Oh yeah, man.
You're a big gamer.
I enjoy gaming. It's my. It's my.
Before we
space.
start off, PC. Are you a PC, PS5, Xbox, or
PS5, PC? Well, but
if you're to choose between PS5 and PC,
because of the Sony exclusives, man, I'll go PS5, man.
My guy.
Those that's exclusives. And yeah, you can. Well, the whole point PC was on top was also because of the
flexibility,
and also the first Warzone where they had more advantages. So now it's.
So what got you into gaming though? I mean, for me, it's just my uncle was a gamer, and then sort of I got gifted, and then sort of started transitioning into Sega.
Friends also, yeah, same. Like growing up, you just go friends' houses, and one has a Nintendo, someone else has a Dreamcast or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just whoever's parents are not home, that's where you go.
That's
where
you
go. Yeah, and then I remember having a Game Boy. I loved Donkey Kong. That was the first game I ever finished solo. So and then PS1, and then just.
Have you played Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah, long ago. It's actually the neighbor had that game, and we'd go there and play.
Have you played all of them? Metal Gear Solid 1,
No,
2?
not one. I think reached a point, and I was like, okay,
we're gonna have to do this.
Get like Fast and the Furious now.
We're gonna shoot it. We're gonna shoot a series.
Yeah.
Where you and I will go through each MGS.
Oh, nice.
We stream it online.
It'd be interesting.
Because they're doing the remasters and we play.
Yeah, they are.
Because I'm telling you that Kojima.
No, that was a good.
Brilliant. So Metal Gear. So you're up for that? We'll figure out some time.
I can do that. We
can record it, put it up. Vish, we're going to make that possible, right? Where we can game.
We'll try. Yeah, we'll do it.
And we go through Metal Gear Solid 1. We can play, and then we can do it over Twitch or something. And then we just record, and then us going through Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, 4.
I'll actually go check today if they're on like Steam or something.
So they're releasing a remaster of all of the games on PS5.
Only on PS5.
So we need to figure out the setup, and then we can do something. And then we can play, and I can watch you. I can play one session.
Yeah, be fine.
So what would you say is probably within the 5 years, because there've been a lot of great games, what is the favorite game?
Apart from the COVID time where there was no gaming, focused on Revamp, I think I've played so much COD. Because then I'd only play COD Mobile. Because there was, you get some free time and it's like it's on mobile. I'm taking a quick break, but I think I've played so much COD, man.
What about Last of Us? Have you played it?
Yeah, and I was actually playing it again. That one and Days Gone.
So have you played the first one and the second one, or
no, second one?
You don't play the first one?
Not yet.
Vish, we got to add that to the list. The Last of Us remastered.
Yeah.
The first one, we need to play that, bro. That's an emotional one. What about Infamous on PlayStation 5?
No, didn't play it.
Okay, Kaka, where have you been? You've been living with my bro too long, man.
I know
Call of Duty stuff and my Fortnite.
It's FPSs and
Bana. You need to come to this side. Spend more time with me, please.
too much God of Wars and Horizons and
God of War was
Tsushima's
fabulous.
and
Tsushima was nice. I mean, so you've just hit the surface. There are a few games you need to go through.
I'm replaying Days Gone just because when I played it first, it starts slow. Yeah. So I didn't really give it. It's just a slow start.
You didn't give it its due justice.
Now I'm playing it and it was a slow start, but now I'm like, okay, now.
Yeah, I platinumed that game. It was quite
you're mad. I don't do trophies. I just play. I don't know how you do.
We spoke about this when I was going through sort of a rough patch in 2019. I Red Dead Redemption 2.
Jeez, man.
I put 670 something hours into that game.
I don't know if I have that hours in COD.
You know, and the thing is,
probably. Yeah. That's in one game.
I took leave just to play that game. So I mean, I think I had 2 weeks of leave. All I did was, first of all, I would sleep like 5-6 in the morning, get up in the afternoon, play all night, no gym, no nothing.
That's crazy.
Bro, it was a dark time.
I think that's why I can't be a full-time gamer unless I become a full-time gamer.
Unless you become a full-time gamer.
I like my sleep.
Yeah. No, so what I mean is if you can find balance with everything. So with that,
true.
The reason I hold Red Dead Redemption 2 so close to me, it's obviously a story about a cowboy who has his family in the wild, wild west. And his family slowly starts detaching from him. His loved ones and everything. And sort of I was in a similar place where the person, we were close to and it sort of everything was detaching away. And I just drowned in myself.
That's like therapy.
Man, bro, at the end of that game is the only game I've ever cried. When I shed a tear when it came. So I don't want to spoil it. You've played the whole game, right?
For me, it's only Tsushima.
Yeah.
Even that one did.
Tsushima was,
When my horse died. It's true.
So you're telling me when Arthur died in Red Dead Redemption 2, you didn't connect?
It felt like a movie. I did, but not.
Kenyan guys.
No. That horse, man. My horse, man.
I tell my horse, man.
I love that.
What did you call him? Nobu?
No, my horse. Nobu was my second, the white one.
What was it?
I even have the video somewhere on my phone. I saved like that part when the horse died.
Yeah.
Red Dead, I felt it, and everyone says that. I'm like,
but
it's only in Tsushima where I was.
Imagine being that obsessed, right? Where you have to go and get each and every facet done. So there was one of the trophies which you have to study the bird, you have to do this. And I was so obsessed. Yeah. And then you have to play online and get to the max level. I had no friends online.
It's just you.
Just me. So what I would do is I noticed you get XP every time you kill a cop. Right? So I would just perch myself in a town and start pepper-tying guys over there. Collecting XP. And I farmed that for like five days. Like I would play the main story and then just go online and do it like for an hour. And when I finally got that platinum, I think I must have slept like 14 hours.
If you did that stream, it would have been...
But you know what? I can't do platinums again because it just takes too much time.
Never. I don't think I'll ever do it.
Yeah. I mean, and sort of that even prevents me from playing a game because every time I'm like tempted to look at the trophy. You don't enjoy it anymore.
I guess finish first and then...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Start
I need to approach it with the mentality. I'm just going to play it. Yeah. And then if I can get a platinum and it's easy, then I work my way back.
Yeah, because now... Campaign, I think I'm playing Horizon a lot because
how is that?
It just looks amazing. Like you just sit there in photo mode and.
Are you playing 4K everything?
I play that on TV and it's just like, man, it's COD that I play on the smaller screen. Yeah, because it's just COD.
It's COD,
Yeah, like God of War is a nice game. It's a good game, but the first Horizon is a beautiful game.
So God of War, you played the first and second
that one I've played.
What did you think of it?
God of War is good. So manly.
Badass.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this nowadays, but it's a manly game.
We're very butcher. Boy.
It's like boy, and it's like
where's my coffee, boy?
But Horizon is beautiful. Like you just sit and
you absorb it.
There's points you just ride and you're not even doing anything and just.
I haven't played it, so I'm going to try that. So I mean, it's a surprising facet.
That's my
We've got a lot of common things. Yeah. I think we've got a goal in 2 years, so we're going to be working together.
Yeah, gaming is where I don't know. After training, like
it's a good escape.
I think I'm an easy guy. I think I did all the going out when I was younger, and now I just work, train.
Yeah,
I'm happy with the dogs. My wife.
How many dogs do you have?
I can just say 4.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of dogs.
4 and then you add gaming, and I'm at peace. Like that's my.
Bro, I will say this: you're a legend, and I'd like to thank you, man. Thank you for doing this. You didn't have to. So it just speaks a lot of your character. I really appreciate it. You're officially our first guest.
Yeah, I know.
So hopefully 1,000 episodes inside.
I was like a Muscom. First guest. That's an honor, man.
We're just trying to figure ourselves out here, trying to figure out our footing.
Yeah.
Eventually I want this to be the people that inspire me outside.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Both people who are achieving their physical goals, financial goals, people I can look up to.
That'd be good. Yeah.
And so just people I can speak to, and get something from them. Let everyone absorb what they can get from you. So I'm sure there are a lot of tidbits over here we can use. People can get in touch with you. And what we'll do is we'll link up all your socials in the description. But where can people find you if they want to get a hold?
Instagram mostly, man.
Yeah, Lee Aesthetics, yeah?
Yeah, just Lee Aesthetics.
We'll tag that up.
Yeah, it's where... Yeah, I use Instagram mostly. Too many socials to keep up with, but Instagrams or email, or website. Perfect.
We'll link everything here, brother.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, my man.
Yeah, thank you, man. That was good.
Thanks. It's been good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that stream with MGS.
We're going to do that.
Yeah, that'll be good.
We'll lock it up. We're good? Thanks, guys.
Easy, man.
This has been the Coffee Pump Podcast.